Namaste, my name is Prasad. I work for this company called Vertiv. And for the next 10 minutes, I'll be talking to you about the explosion that's happening in the industry because of the AI revolution, the way loads in data centers have changed, and how it's going to affect the industry, and how can Vertiv help you scale up your data center infrastructure to meet the workloads of the future. Okay? So AI as a subject is how old is AI as a subject? How many years old is the subject called AI? Any guesses? 1999, okay, so that's around for 30 years, okay, 25 years. 1960, okay, that's right, approximately, yeah. So AI is approximately a 75-year-old subject. So there are, university research on the subject of AI for at least the last 75 years. But AI is now like, it's a ubiquitous thing. Everybody's talking about it, and it's like smartphones. And smartphones they've been there for 20 years. But the advent of iPhone, the launch of iPhone, is when people came to know about something called smartphones. Otherwise, there have been smartphones before that. So similar things with AI, ChatGPT. So the iPhone moment of AI is ChatGPT. That is around September, October 2022. That's when AI became known to everybody, okay? So that's the potential of the technology, what it can do, how it can do productivity, and it's going to change everything from machine learning, to deep learning, to robotics, to healthcare, and it's going to touch every industry. So that's what the big revolution is going to be. So AI is a broad discipline which is about large language models, natural language processing and all that. So we have limited time, so I'll not go through all of this. So it's a simulation of human intelligence in machines. So generative AI is the hot topics of AI right now, and everybody here are all from the CIO field and the IT field, so I don't need to talk about this. So there are two types of loads, the training load and the inference load. So the training load is what is going to be, it requires 80% of the requirement right now is the training loads, and 20% is the inference loads. So how is it going to change? Generative AI is going to be a 1.3 trillion business by 2032. So that's a big thing. 2032, generative AI subject is going to be a 1.3 trillion business. So AI use cases are changing everything for us in the industry, starting from technology, consumer, biopharma, financial institutions, entertainment. It's completely changing the game. And how is it changing? So all the banks, the leading banks in the world, are all talking about AI right now, and financial institutions are the biggest adopters of AI. So JP Morgan, American Express, Bloomberg, Deutsche Bank, they're all big adopters, and there are some Indian banks also who are adopters of AI, and we saw some from the banking industry here some time back. So the big change in the game is a move from CPU to GPUs. So GPUs as a thing has been existing for long. The gaming industry, people who have been in the gaming industry know that for the last 25, 30 years. The GPUs for the gaming industry has been there. But that getting into computing is what is changing the game. So GPUs can do parallel processing. Okay, so it's like multiple small chips. So just in the latest NVIDIA Blackwell GPU, one Blackwell GPU, it's got thousands of transistors. Can anybody guess the number of transistors on the recently March 2024 launched Blackwell GPU of NVIDIA? 208 billion transistors. Oh, you're right there, yeah. So 208 billion transistors on just one GPU, okay? So the Grace Blackwell GPU platform, which has got 8 number of GPUs in one box, okay? So just one GPU is going to be 1200 watts. That's the power that one GPU is going to use. It's called the TDP, the thermal density of power. This was not a subject of interest to any of the CIOs earlier, because the IT and the facility used to be two different wings in the company. But then the advent of AI, the way power loads and heat loads and TDP is increasing per rack, which means that you can't be you will the IT and infrastructure, the blur that was there earlier is now into the is much lesser right now, because we will talk about it a little bit later on as to how is it changing the game. So most racks are actually right now, if you go to any data center, most racks are in this range of 1 kilowatt rack to around 20 kilowatts. So 75% of the current load in data centers is in the range of around less than 20 kilowatt. So the maximum are in the range of 7 to 14 kilowatt. So that's what the current data center loads per rack is. But this is completely changing. As you see upwards, you will see 25% of rack loads are getting in the range of 20 kilowatt, upwards of 70 kilowatt. As I speak to you, right now, we're working with some government projects where we've delivered around 36 kilowatt per rack. 36 kilowatt, because one chip, as I said before, the new one that's not yet come to India so far, it's 1200 watts. So just one rack is 36 kilowatts. And as I speak to you right now, we're working on a project where there's a requirement of around 60 to 70 racks for a customer where the complete IT load is 80 kilowatt per rack. And we're talking about not just 80, we're talking about 100, upwards of 120 kilowatt per rack, which means the game is completely changing. From what is around 4 to 6 to 10 kilowatt, it's going upwards of 120 kilowatts, and that's most IT managers are aware of it right now. So this is what some survey that we did with some of our agencies, and they said that around 60% of them think that it is going to hit them. So the current rack loads, which are in the range of 6 to 10 kilowatt, whatever and lesser, is going to get upwards, not in just one go, but over a period of time in the next 5 to 7 years, they will get upwards of 50 to 60 to 100 plus kilowatt per hour, per rack. So this is the way the rack density is growing in terms of the IT load. So in the range of, all are in the range of around less than 10 kilowatt, but what we are seeing is hyperscale colo cloud service providers who are right now in terms of the rack load density is in the range of 8 to 10 kilowatt, is going upwards to around 3x. So they will be in this range of upwards of 25 to 27 kilowatt per rack, whereas the co-location service providers in the range of 4 to 6 or 3 to 4, 2 to 3 kilowatt per rack is actually going to 5.3x, upwards of around 15 kilowatt per rack. And the enterprises which are in the range of maybe 2 to 3 to 4 kilowatt per rack is getting into the range of 5x, which means they will be by 2029. And these are all charts that we made with an agency called Omdia around 6 months ago, but this is also completely changing. So every 6 months when we refresh with agencies like Deloro and Omdia and others, we're seeing that the explosion in terms of the rack density is happening at a much faster pace than what we have earlier imagined. So higher rack density, so how is it affecting all of us? Higher rack density is creating a lot of new challenges for us. So in terms of the wideness of the racks, so we need to have wider racks, and then we need to have taller racks, we need to have higher ampere powerage, and of course, IT gear. So each of the server that you know about, NVIDIA, each server is in the range of $300K to $400K per server. So each rack is in the range of like 15-20 crores. Okay, so that's the kind of IT gear that will be in each rack. So this is the kind of, it will be wider racks, heavier racks, and we are into all this space. Vertiv is in the space of racks, all the rack cooling and service complexity will increase. The usage of sustainability targets are all there for all of us. So this is the way the whole thing is going to change. Heat, waste, reuse, and emerging. So we are into all this space of ensuring that your rack load density, we can upscale you from your current 3 to 4 to 6 to 10 kilowatt upwards of 100 kilowatts. So we are right now partnering with NVIDIA. So there's a program called the Cooler Chips Program, which is by the Department of Energy in the United States, because right now 2.5% of the world's power usage is in data centers. And with the advent of AI and the explosion that's happening right now, this could go as upwards something like 8 to 10% in the next 5 to 7 years' time. So that's what is expected. So the Department of Energy is working with Vertiv, with a consortium, which is called NVIDIA, Honeywell, and Vertiv, and all of us, to ensure that we come up with the latest cooling technology, because these racks need to be cooled. So because cooling is one of the biggest power guzzlers in any data center. So this is what when the global GB200 Blackwell platform, the Grace Blackwell platform, was launched by Jensen Huang, who is the NVIDIA's president and CEO. This was what he showed on the screen in San Jose, and this CDU. So this is a Vertiv product. So this architecture, that means that NVIDIA will be giving chips and the entire cooling system for that. This is provided by Vertiv, and we are a partner with NVIDIA, and we provide what is known as the coolant distribution unit, and also the entire secondary fluid network, wherein the liquid will actually go to the chip, take out the heat, like sweat, the vapor, and that will be recirculated back. So it is not about air cooling anymore. As rack densities increase upwards of 45 kilowatts, we will need to go to liquid cooling, and that's what we play into. So Vertiv has partnered with NVIDIA. I'm not going to get into details of all of this right now. So this is a video about the NVIDIA president, who is like a rock star right now, with their stock upwards of around $1,300, $1,400, and then split recently. And NVIDIA is right now the world's biggest market cap company. It is just upwards of $3 trillion. So they've just around 2 days ago overtaken Microsoft. A week ago, they overtook Apple. So just in the last 6 months, NVIDIA is today the biggest market cap company in the world, upwards of $3 trillion. And this is Jensen Huang talking about our partnership. Oops. Okay, there's a video in which he talks about. Oops. Okay, so this is one of the last slides. So as rack densities go higher, from low density to medium to high density to extreme high density, 80 kilowatt, we've got solutions to ensure that we can power and cool these racks. It's important. So we have got solutions starting from row cooling, which is perimeter cooling, which is air cooling, which has got limitations. As we go higher, we have got passive rear door heat exchanger, direct to chip, and there is also immersion cooling, which is actually you having servers of Dell and all that directly into liquids like dielectric liquids, and then we can cool servers directly with immersion cooling, and we have all these technologies. So air cooling is expected to be overtaken by liquid cooling. Okay, so that's it, I think. Yeah, I want to play the video, yeah. So can you, I think with that video I'll stop. It's just a very small video. Okay, can you just play the video, please? This is it's a small video. It should play, right? No, it's not playing. Okay, leave it here. So he talks about our partnership. Thank you very much. Sorry, it's like 10 minutes on to stopping is like, putting me to death sentence. But anyway, thank you very, very much.